Hey y'all, it's your legal bestie, Attorney Simone, and I am back live from New York City. I am back in New York. Tonight, actually, I am going to be at Don Lemon and DL Hughley have a show tonight at the City Winery. I will be moderating the Q&A that's going to take place after the initial show. I'm going to do it again tomorrow as well, which will be August 13th. So if you have not gotten your ticket already, tonight is sold out. But last I checked, there were some seats available for tomorrow at City Winery. Again, that is D.L. Hughley and Don Lemon. You do not want to miss it. Make sure y'all hit that like and hit that subscribe as you guys come on in. Now, here's what we've got on the docket. This is weird. Oh, you know what? Hold on, guys. I see what's going on. There is like AI that's trying to like get the best picture, so it kind of moves the camera around. This is really strange, but hold on. Let me see if I can scoot my chair up. My camera was like, oh, that's so weird. I'm not even touching it. That's AI, y'all, doing that. So weird. Thank you. Yes, I am so excited for me too. Thank you guys so much. Hey, Cece. Ooh, thanks for joining us. Cece's a new member with us, guys. So here's what we got on the docket for today, okay? We have got, you know who's DC takeover. We're going to talk about that. We've got Chad and Shannon, Ochocinco and Shannon Sharpe settled their $20 million defamation suit. And of course, I had to put Porsha and Simon back on the docket because I need to debunk some myths about what they've got going on there. So first off, the DC takeover, okay? Sheesh. All right. And before we get to that, I want to, let me see. Here we go. Before we get to that, don't forget, you can always book a consultation with me, Simone Redwine, literally at SimoneRedwine.com. Here it is right here in my little thing right here, SimoneRedwine.com. Consultations for 30 minutes start at $200. That's also the same rate for background checks. So definitely go to SimoneRedwine.com and book with me there. All right. Now let's get right back into it. So this DC takeover. So let me share this tab for you. I want you to watch this little clip that we got going here.
What's your ID on you, Chip?
This is in DC.
No, I live right here.
Okay. Cool.
It's a cigarette. Did y'all get a call or something about right here?
No, so we're doing checks, keeping everybody safe down here, right? Have you heard of the federal search that Donald Trump's putting out?
No.
Right. You don't follow like Code 3, anything like that?
No.
All right, so Trump's got all federal agencies kind of coming together 7 days and going out, trying to stop the violent crime, all kind of stuff. So we're out here contacting people, talking to them, right? Quality of life offenses, smoking, drinking in public, right? Can't happen outside, right? Most people know that.
He's neither smoking nor drinking.
Contacting people, trying to advise them of the law.
By smoking, they mean illegal.
So they learn, right?
You can smoke.
And then there's other stuff going on where it turns into there's multiple agencies. There's shooting and things like that. So there's extra hands available, all right? So we're just out here trying to inform people and educate people. It's not like we're trying to just go grab people and ruin someone's life over a joint or something like that, all right?
I only asked because when you walked up, at the moment you walked up, you only asked me.
Yeah, well, it smelled like the odor of marijuana, burnt marijuana in the air, right? And you're the only guy that had something lit in your hand, and I didn't flash you, so I didn't realize it was just a cigarette. So that's on me. I appreciate you understanding and not getting me.
Right. India Moss said, how many laws has this administration broken?
Right. Tell your boys, like, yo, everybody's out. From FBI to police. Right? So do your thing. Let them know. Don't be smoking outside. Don't be drinking.
Oh, yeah. Stop and frisk is back.
Donald Trump is tired of it. People come to visit.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know smoking in public?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the recreational
because in Maryland is recreational use, so I didn't know.
Yeah, so DC, it's recreational use as well, right? But you can legally possess up to 2 ounces. You can gift an ounce to your boy, right? So if you had 2 ounces and he said he needed a zip, you can give him a zip. But you can't smoke outside. How y'all doing today?
Okay. So yeah, the cop is trying to say, yeah, you can use it, you can smoke, you just can't smoke it outside, is what he's trying to say. But here's the thing. I want everyone to be very, very clear. Just because the president is saying that cops and the FBI can knock you around, punch you in your face, knock you in your head, doesn't make it legal. It is still not legal. If police are doing any of those things, you have to file a complaint. You have to do what you can to see if you can secure a lawyer to protect your rights. Just because the president does not follow the law doesn't mean the rest of us will do that. Okay. He does not get to suspend the laws because he doesn't like them. That's not how it works in America. You can still be sued civilly as a police officer, as a federal officer, if you are racially profiling people, if you are using excessive force. So I don't want people to feel like, oh, great, now I just have to tolerate whatever the police are doing. We don't, and we shouldn't. It's important each and every time that you are harassed or that excessive force is used against you or anyone you even view, that you file a complaint. You can go online, look up the nearest department. Here, if it's in DC, you want to file with the DC police, with the National Guard for DC, as well as federal officers, because you don't know necessarily which of the three it is. But as an attorney, I am begging you to please file complaints, because when they later unalive us, when they later beat us so badly that we are deformed, at least if people are filing complaints against these officers, when I represent you and I use discovery to pull their file, I then have a file this big of complaints that I can use to get punitive damages, multiple damages. We call it treble damages, which can be up to 3 times damages. It just varies. But in order to get that type of justice for people, I need the records to take place where people have documented these abuses. It's not just good enough to talk about it. We got to document it. So someone says, is it smoking in public or on public property? This is DC, so I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and say in public, like visibly in public. The reason I say that, it's, think of it like public intoxication, right? It's totally okay to drink. It's not okay to be drunk in public where it's noticeable and it's annoying to others. It's also not okay to have an open container. So the analogy would be an open container violation. This is absolutely everything that VP Harris said was going to happen. Hit that like, guys, as you come on in, please hit that like. And let's be very, very clear. Do you know what the most dangerous city in the United States of America is based on crime? Memphis, Tennessee. It is not DC. Trump has made that up because what he's trying to do here is he wants to use the federal government to take over democratically run cities. So he's starting with DC. He's trying to see what he could get away with, what's Congress going to allow and not prevent him from doing. And then he's going to replicate it. So Houston could be next. LA could be next. Chicago will likely be next. He's going to pick whatever place, especially if it is in a city with a lot of representatives and a lot of vote in the next election, right? Because then he can crack down. He can create curfews. He can make it even more difficult to vote. And he's going to do that in democratically run cities where they're not going to vote for him because he punishes people who don't like him. The truth is, nobody likes you. Nobody likes you, Mr. President. They tolerate you because they want to use you for what you have. So that's why at his funeral, there's likely going to be lots of people laughing, dancing, joking, and not in the Creole second line way, but in a ding dong, the witch is dead. Ha ha he, the witch is dead. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Like that, but for him. Got it? So Memphis, Tennessee is actually the most dangerous city in America. DC is nowhere close. It's actually far, far down the list, and it's got the lowest crime rate that they have had in the last 30 years. Even from last year, different divisions of crime, whether it was burglary or this or that, are down 30%. The other way that you know that crime is down is because when crime goes down, rents go up. The rents for DC are the highest that they have ever been. So this is all pretext in order for him to come in and create what is called a police state so that they can terrify brown people, scare us, arrest us, incarcerate us, and make our lives a living hell. All right. Moving on. Next up, let's do Ochocinco. Let's do Ochocinco. And we're going to do Ochocinco next. Hold on. There we go. Next up on the docket, Shannon Sharpe and Ochocinco and the defamation suit that they had. Now, they are being sued. I'm going to share this article with you guys. Yeah. So they settle a $20 million defamation suit that was filed against them. So Shannon is just out here just shelling out funds. It was estimated that his settlement with the OnlyFans girl was likely around 20 to 30 million there. And here we are with a $20 million lawsuit. We don't know the dollar amount. We just know that they were being sued for 20 million. And it says a $20 million suit against Sharpe, the nightcap talk show host, and his partner, as well as Shay Media, where they were sued by Jamalta Tillman. That suit is now dismissed with prejudice, meaning she can never refile the suit. The suit derived from an incident at an Usher concert when the singer fed cherries. Usher fed cherries to her in the front row. In her suit, she alleges that Shannon Sharpe and Ocho disseminated, quote, false and defamatory statements on Nightcap, that her husband was filing divorce after her fan engagement moment with the singer went viral. In fact, though, none of that was true. She was not married at the time of the accident, is not married now, and is not going through a divorce. These are all facts which absolutely could lead to defamation. And it says just a few days before the settlement, Tillman was interviewed on the radio show called The Morning Hustle and sounded like she intended to keep fighting in court, saying that Sharpe's production company failed to adequately fact check. As a private citizen, my rights were encroached upon, she said, and she was extremely articulate. She was articulate, professional. She had her stuff together. She said, this is wrong. Something needs to be done. Following the suit's dismissal, she gave a statement to a local Fox affiliate in Chicago saying, I'm pleased with the outcome. We were able to put this matter behind us without a long, drawn-out court matter. We look forward to future discussions about the positive contributions Mr. Sharpe and I both make to the community. I wish him, his family, and his business endeavors continued success. Baby, that's what it sounds like when you got cha-ching, when you got paid well and comfortably, and you are good to go, baby. You are no longer disgruntled. Y'all think about it. If it was you, put in the chat, if this was you, what would be the amount of money that you would want from Shannon Sharpe and Ochocinco to not feel disgruntled? How much is it? What is that number for you? Now, here's how that settlement went real quickly. So when I read about this lawsuit, I said, hold on. So she did everything right. She and her attorney, hit that like as you guys come on in, and hit the subscribe. Her and her attorney did everything right. And by that, I mean, and I don't know why this is like so low. Here we go. By that, I mean, the first thing you're supposed to do is send a cease and desist letter to whoever you feel has defamed you. You have to specifically articulate what it is that they posted and how it is defamatory. It's not good enough that you just say, in this episode. If someone sends me a cease and desist and they just say, well, in this episode, you defamed me, not good enough. The law says you must be specific to give the other party a chance to remove it. Well, here, she did that with Shannon and Ocho, and they still didn't. It was alleged that they took it down from their YouTube, but they didn't take it off of their streaming platforms. That's a problem. And then the other thing is, if you can leave it up, but you can put like text in there that says this is incorrect, or you can have a voiceover, different things like that. Well, when I saw that she had provided them confirmation that these things are not true, and honestly, the confirmation can simply be you telling them, hey, it's not true. I wasn't married. I'm not divorced. I'm not married now. That is sufficient proof. You don't have to send nobody your divorce decree or anything like that. So I was surprised they didn't take it down. Well, here's why this one got settled quickly. Shay Media, which is who does that podcast, has, what do I always talk about? Defamation insurance. Because they have defamation insurance, once that lawsuit was filed, it gets forwarded directly to the insurance company, assigned a claims adjuster. The claims adjuster likely picked up the phone, called old girl's lawyer and said, look, what do you need to make this go away? I guarantee you it was not 20 million. No way in hell. because you have to prove damages. Her damages weren't anywhere near 20 million at all. More than likely, it was $1 million policy. I don't believe she got all million, but I think she could have gotten like 500,000 or 200,000. It just varies. But it wasn't that. It wasn't the 20 million. And I encourage all influencers out there, get yourself some defamation insurance. I'm actually going to have an affiliate link soon that I'll be able to post with a great company that offers defamation insurance. All right. And next up is we're going to bless their hearts. Bless their hearts. Here we are. We're going to talk about Porsha, and Simon. Before we get to that, I just want to remind you, tomorrow night, I will be at City Winery along with DL Hughley and Don Lemon. I will be moderating the Q&A session after their live show. So if you haven't gotten tickets already, see me there. I hope to see you there at the City Winery. I have loved DL Hughley's comedy like my whole life. I love intellectual and political humor. So that's just right up my alley. Yep, someone's saying they're thinking it's around 250. Let me know how much you think that the woman suing Ochocinco, as well as Shannon Sharpe, likely got for her defamation settlement. Again, you have to be able to show damages, and in that situation, damages. And let me say this again. I'm going to put that back up. Damages in this case. So let's say she really wasn't married. She isn't married. So let's stick with that. The woman is not married, but they were saying that she got a divorce or that she was married and then ultimately her husband divorced her as a result of the cherry incident. Now, here's the thing. The cherry incident, and again, it was where like Usher was like dangling a cherry and she was going like that. Literally, that's what she was doing. Hit that like, guys. We have over 200 in the chat and less than 70 likes. Now, in real life, you having that little sexual innuendo scene is impactful, I'll say, to anyone's reputation. It's impactful. But then if someone lies on you and says you did that while you were married, it makes you look like you have poor judgment. I would say she's clearly a professional woman. And therefore, I think the damage would be minimal, especially once you have a suit like this. It makes very clear that it's not true. But obviously, when you weigh damages up through the time in which you're suffering these damages, right? So many people did not believe her. And she had to file the lawsuit in order to get people to believe her. So I think realistically, her damages would be under $1 million, but I could see an insurance company perhaps giving her 500,000 or so to settle it just because that's what attorney's fees. Now, actually, attorney's fees would be much lower. Attorney's fees actually would be closer to like 100,000. But what also happens is when you're going against celebrities like that, a jury has a tendency to award higher numbers because they know that this is the little guy fighting against a millionaire. So let us know in the chat, how much do you think she got? I'm seeing some numbers. Some people are saying, I think she got $1 million. Somebody said, do that cherry move again. And I'll hit the like, no, you're nasty. You're nasty. I'm not doing that again. I'm probably going to cut that out the final. Anyhow, all right, now let's change up to our third case on the docket for today. And we're going to wrap a bit earlier today, only because I had the show tonight at the City Winery, as well as tomorrow, is Porsha, and Simon. So it says Porsha Williams' $7 million mansion faces a lien due to Simon's 6-figure debt. So Porsha's ex-husband is catching heat, honey, for not settling a hefty 6-figure bill he owes to his divorce lawyer. On June 10th, his lawyer, it looks like she has an African name too, slapped an attorney's lien on the impressive 5-bedroom, 8-bath, 15,000 square foot mansion in Georgia that sits around $7.3 million in value. Williams is currently living there after being granted possession in the divorce. The lien states that he owes a total of $205 $1,000 for legal services rendered. Okay. I had to cover this case because you know me, I like breaking down and undoing legal myths. So many people are like, Porsha ain't never going to see her money. She ain't never going to get that money because Porsha was awarded $40,000 a month for 15 months. Let's see, what's that number? 40,000 a month for, wait, let me just make it 15 months. That's only $600,000. I thought it was way more than that. She was ordered that. Plus, she gets 1/2 of the value of the home at the time of the divorce. Now, it's $7.3 million. Now, Simon stated that he put $2.4 million down on it. So that means that this house today should have approximately, wait. Hold on. Oh, so that this house should have at least $2.4 million in equity. That's what I was going to say. Should have $2.4 million in equity. And then it depends on what it's going to be sold for. Now, she can choose to keep the house. She has 3 years to decide whether she wants to keep the house and like live in it for the next 3 years. And literally, she technically wouldn't have to pay a dime. He's supposed to pay because her name is not on the house, only his. So check this out. If she wanted to let that sucker just go into foreclosure, she could and not pay a note. Or she could refinance it into her own name and live in it. But here's the kicker. I want you guys to know something very clear that many people don't realize about divorce law. The part of the law that says if she wants to keep the house, let me say this again. It's if she doesn't want the house, he can just pay her out and he can give her 1/2 the value of the house. Or she can refinance it into her own name. However, if she wants to keep the house and she applies to refinance it into her own name and they say no, she can still keep living there. The law just says you have to make a good faith attempt to refinance it into your own name. If she, in a good faith attempt just means you go to the bank and you say, hey, I want this. If the bank says you don't make enough or your credit is too bad, then that's fine. You can keep living it. Now, you do have to then be responsible for the note, whatever the note is, but his name would remain on the property until you're able to refinance it out. I have seen couples where I got a call from a wife. Her name was still on the note 10 years after the divorce because his credit was so messed up. He could not get it approved to refinance in his name only. His credit was messed up and his income was not higher. Well, she was pissed because it was she has access to a VA loan, but until that one is refinanced off, she couldn't get another VA loan, which means no down payment. So you guys always have to keep that in mind. I did see the Diddy $100 million defamation lawsuit, and we are going to cover that tomorrow. Do I think Simon's lawyer told him not to pay so a lien could be put on the property? No, that would be like against the ethical rules. But what I do believe is Simon's not paying any debt owed in America at all. He is going to let anybody he owes money, he's going to just let him attach to that house. Why? Because he don't want her to get it. The more liens that are stacked up, he feels means the less money she will have a right to. However, that's not true. It goes lien priority, goes by the order of the lien. So what that means here is Porsha is in line first for her money. She gets whatever she's entitled to under the prenup and the divorce. She gets her money first and then the lawyer. Oh, wait a minute. No, look, if you look at the dates on the documents, this was brilliant. Actually, Simon's lawyer filed that lien the day before the divorce. So that actually means Simon's lawyer's lien is superior to Porsha's, meaning Simon's lawyer will get paid before Porsha gets her money. Because Porsha, basically, her debt didn't become due until the divorce was signed. That was a day later. That was brilliant. So that's why, because some people are like, wait, these dates don't add up. why did Simon's lawyer file the lien the day before the divorce decree was signed? It was so that the lawyer's lien would be superior to Porsha, and the lawyer would get paid before Porsha. Now, again, I told you there's $2.5 million of equity. We know that because he made that in a cash down payment. You know how whenever you buy a home, there's a certain percent that you have to come to the table with in cash. For this property, Simon had to come with $2.5 million. The attorney's fees are only $200,000. So we know that it'll be fine. That can be paid from the equity in the property, as well as, Porsha's $600,000 is what she's entitled to for her alimony, the $40,000 for 14 months. That totals up to $600,000. And then she also gets the value of one half of the home. So if it's $7.3 million, just round that up, that's like 3.6. Now, what'll happen is this: any and all monies that that Simon owes Porsha, when she gets ready to sell that house, she'll be able to take her money off the top, and whatever is left over will go to him. So Porsha's money comes off the top, the lawyer's lien, and then below that is any other liens he's going to rack up. And he's going to rack up a lot because I think he's got other lawsuits. Simon is being sued by, I believe it's a jet company, for like $800,000 and more. Yeah, hit that like button, guys. It says, but after title fees, seller closing, she's back at what she was giving. No, not if that house is sold for $7.3 million. If the house is sold at $7.3 million and it's already got $2.5 million in equity, then as long as there's still a lot of fluff in there because there's not that much that's due. I agree. It was wonderful. Oh, great. You guys saw me on Dod Living yesterday and enjoyed it. That's good. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, Bree. Help me out, honey. Everybody gets a payday either way. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think Porsha's lawyers did a brilliant job because what they said to the judge is, look, judge, we don't believe Simon is going to pay her a dime. So rather than force Porsha to run around trying to collect from Simon, judge, order that Porsha has the right to sell the home, take her money off the top, and then whatever is left, the title company will give to Simon. And that's what it's going to be. But it's everybody who Simon owes money is all going to be standing in line trying to get their share. That's why I tell people all the time, whether it's child support or anything else. Because at one point, Porsha said in the divorce papers, she was paying Simon's child support for him because she didn't want them kids to go without. So the baby's moms, all those people could file liens, put it against the house. And when the house sells, they're going to be able to get paid. Oh, guess what? With that kind of lien as well, even if the house doesn't sell, but if she just refinances it into her name, you cannot refinance a house without taking care of the liens. So that's going to ensure that the lawyer, child support, anybody else, if Simon owes you money, y'all, this is the time. Get in line, file your lien. This is how you're going to get paid. It says if he was scamming allegedly, it wasn't his bread to begin with. Ooh, that's a good point. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today's episode of Girl, Is That Legal? Drop the topics you want me to cover tomorrow down below. And don't forget, City Winery with Don Lemon tonight as well as tomorrow, Wednesday, August 3rd. I'll be moderating the Q&A afterwards. Y'all take care. Bye, guys.